Are you brave? Do you like to talk about spooky stuff? Join me for Halfway to Halloween. Welcome back to Misscoolala's Mystical Musings. I am your host, Carla. Misscoolala. So I was tagged by Selena from Essence of the Moon and Debbie from Debbie's Witchy vlog. Now, I think that, it would be appropriate for anybody to join in. So, yeah, I hope that everybody does. This is so much fun for me because I very much love Halloween. Now, as I get older, I really dig more for the little ones, because I'm a grandma of 3 beautiful grandbabies, and their Halloween experience is way more important than mine, but I have had some major fun over the years. So this tag was originally created by Happy Haunts Library. I want to say thank you so much because this is fabulous. These are excellent tag creations, and I'm honored to chime in. So I think there's 10 questions, and let's have some fun with it. The first question is, are you a fan of haunted houses? Yeah, I live in one. It's not like, I guess it just depends on like how intuitive you are, or maybe how you see into that other realm, whether you might see what I see here. My middle daughter Faith has had some things happen. When I first moved in here, it, like, actually before we actually were living here, when I was moving stuff here, it happened to be a stormy night, and I was sitting in a rocking chair doing laundry because we had moved the laundry and dryer, or the washer and dryer, up here. And this is an old farmhouse. It's been here for a long time. I couldn't even tell you how long. But there was an old rocking chair, which we still have, that I sat in the laundry room because we didn't have any other furniture in here at the time. And so I was sitting in there waiting for the clothes to get done. And the only light on in the house was in the mudroom, which is where we have the washer and dryer. And I'm sitting there I think I might have been reading a book, honestly. And it was thundering, raining and lightning and thundering, which, could very well have been what happened next. But I'm sitting there and I'm reading, rocking back and forth, and the lights went out. But you know how when you can tell somebody's just right here, and it was like right in my face, and it felt like somebody was just standing there breathing. And of course I stopped rocking. I'm like, okay, it's just, the light comes back on, and I'm like, okay, that's just, it's storming outside. It's an old farmhouse. So obviously the wiring might be a little iffy, and obviously we're in the boondocks. So, I just chalked it up to, it's just weather, and, electric goes out, So I go back to rocking, and, no thunder, no lightning, just all of a sudden, it's like somebody is in the kitchen and they're flicking the light on and off, because the light switch was on in the kitchen to that room. It was like somebody was literally clicking it on and off. And then, of course, I got mad. I was like, all right, this is my house. And I stood up because I was like, are you trying to scare me from living here or what? My mind went everywhere. Like somebody was just messing with me, somebody on the other side. And when I stood up, and I was mad at that point because I thought, there's nothing you can do that's going to keep me from living here. This is my home now. And gradually we were moving stuff in because of, we didn't have a moving van or nothing like that. So we were just bringing stuff up in carloads. And I just happened to Bob had already moved the washer and dryer up here. So I'm like, well, I guess I'm going to be doing laundry up there. So that's what I was doing. And anyway, so, nothing happened after that, after I got up and said my piece. Really wasn't peaceful as I was saying it, but I probably looked like a crazy lady if anybody would have been watching me, because I wasn't really talking to anything physical, but that's a whole other story. Like the next day I realized it was my dad that was visiting me. So he had actually passed and I didn't know it. So that was him coming through. But there are other things. It's like I feel like this house has a lot of like portals, a lot of areas where things do come through. I've seen a lot, especially when I wake up in the middle of the night and I see things. So yeah, I've done a lot of astral traveling here. I've done a lot of, I've had a lot of lucid dreaming. So these, I feel like this house is just has that. I've taken pictures, which I'll hopefully I have them saved, of like a face coming through by one of the lights in that mudroom in that area. So, and anyone that looked at it, they're like, yeah, that's a face. And I communicated with it. I read cards and asked questions and stuff like that. So, yeah, and this stuff just doesn't bother me. Now that I see how much control I have over my surroundings, and that, I'm the boss, you know what I mean? I'm the boss here. So I don't have any problem with travelers coming through, and I think I enjoy it. Now I have been to places that I was literally scared, like the Indiana sanatorium. My daughter and I went there a couple years ago, and that was a little bit scary. I'll share some of that stuff here too. That was a little bit scary. And I think that's because there were, when you go to places and it's an attraction of sorts, it's like people are bringing their fears to these places. And, fear is a very residual energy. And I think we leave our imprints there, and the people that passed in that place, and and the people that were there during the time that it was a mental hospital. There was a lot of energy in that place. So I think that I felt that, you know what I mean? So and there were times that I felt like something was literally behind me, and I'm just really, really aware of things. So yeah, and it scared me, but I think I still was fine, you know. Number 2, what's your favorite ghost story or haunted lore? I don't know if I have a favorite ghost story, but I it's like haunted lore. Uh yeah, I don't have one, but I will tell you that a couple years ago, Bob and we were sitting down talking, and I think it was a little bit before Halloween. It was before my birthday, actually. And there's always stories around the place you live. people will have stories, and if you look it up, you can find out stuff. And he was actually telling me, he's like, "I think they're you need to hear this." And he's like, and so he was talking about it, and as he was talking about it, I was looking it up. So the Morris murders is something that happened not far from where I live. It's pretty much in my backyard, maybe a couple miles down the road. And the Morris murders was something that happened on the night of my birthday in 18 something. And the cemetery where they're buried in, we happened to go there. And I actually have a video about that in on my one of my playlists. But that was an unsolved murder. And there's a lot of theory around that. So, I mean, and there's other, like, again, like wherever you live, you're going to find lore of the land type thing. And where I grew up, there's a lot of that. So, I really can't think of anything specific at the moment that would be my favorite, but I love all of it. I love all of it and I consider it. And because of my own experiences, I pretty much believe in what may or may not be possible as like stuff that really happened. So, do you plan on Halloween decor hunting this year? If so, what items do you hope to find? So, oh, okay. Like, um, last Halloween, we created a fake cemetery with all these fun little sayings on the we made up cardboard boxes, or we used cardboard boxes and we painted them and put little sayings on them, and then we took the fake webs. I would like to add to that. I would like to do something similar to that, because we got the whole family together and we were crafting, and just it was fun and the kids loved it, you know. And so that I think I'll probably get some more stuff. I don't want to scare them right now. But when I got older, like when I was a little kid and when I got older, there's stink bug flying around above my head. Gosh darn things. Speaking of scary, I don't like them on me. But anyway, uh the older that we got, like 15, 16. Actually even younger than that. My mom loved to scare us. So, I mean, and the kids in the neighborhood. So, I would like to kind of do stuff like that, not scare them too bad, but just so that they remember it and remember, oh, that was fun. We should go to that house again, that kind of stuff. I just like to make it fun. you know, and spooky, scary is fun to me. I mean, they'll either want to come back or they won't, type thing. um, so yeah, more stuff like spider webs and, spooky little critters, stuff like that, skeletons. Um, Candy corn, love it or hate it. I'm not a fan. I'm not really a sugar person. Sometimes I get cravings for it, but yeah, I mean, I love chocolate and stuff like that, but candy corn just never really, it was a meh. I mean, yeah. Are you big into costumes and dressing up for Halloween? If so, what's your favorite costume of all time? Oh, I did love doing that. And I think more so this year, I'll probably try to do that again for the kids, for the kids. Um, but yeah, I'll show you some of the costumes. And Bob is really into it. He's a Halloween baby. He was born October 31st. So he loves Halloween. My grandson, he was born November 1st. So, I mean, there's just something really, talking about Samhain and stuff. There's something really magical about that time of year. And, obviously, I think we as witches and magicians, we understand why, you know. So it's just that time of the year. I love it. I love it. My favorite costume, I think, is probably just anything witchy. you know. Back in my, 20s to 40s, it was all about dressing up kind of sexy and stuff. Ooh, ooh, Now it's just I want to do something that is kind of believable, if not funny, you know, but something that the kids will get and maybe scary even. That's fun. um so what number 6, what is one activity or experience that is on your spooky season bucket list this year? Really is just making sure that the kids go trick or treating and they get their fun, dressing up and just being um a part of something, the community. And, of course, they're happy to be getting candy. My youngest granddaughter, she's autistic. So there's a lot of things she won't even touch because she also has sensory processing disorder. So they're pretty much fruit chews, gummies or whatever. And because she don't like to touch certain things. So, um, for her, it's really and she doesn't really like a lot of people. You know what I mean? It overstimulates her. So, um, for her, it doesn't last that long because she can only take so much. But Liam and Lola, they had such an excellent time last year and the year before. So, um, that's really it. Is just to make sure that they have a good time. Granted, I would like to do some more on the property, but where we're at, we're on a dirt road, kind of the middle of nowhere, and we don't get trick-or-treaters. It just doesn't matter. We just don't get them out here. Maybe get the yard decorated and do like a little party just for the little ones. But trick-or-treating, I want to make sure they go to the right neighborhood and have the experience that something similar to what I had as a kid. It was just part of what made me really love Halloween was my experiences as a child is why I love it so much now. And I want to do that for them. So, um, what book, series, or movie screams Halloween to you? Oh my goodness. I can't even think of all of them. Supernatural was my favorite series for that. And Charmed. Oh my goodness. Those two are just fabulous. And of course, I loved um, Buffy, the Vampire Slayer, and Angel. um, Movies, obviously, anything with witches in it. So if you can think of anything with a witch in it, I probably love that movie. Especially, the favorites, the fan favorites like Practical Magic, which I think there's a 2 coming soon. I love Hocus Pocus and uh, oh, what is that? The Craft. Um, Anything supernatural. There's been quite a few. I couldn't even tell you. Um, Series and movies. Um, yeah, I don't really care for Jason Voorhees and let's see who's the other one? Michael Myers. I don't really care for movies like that. They don't do anything for me. Because I'm not a big fan of just somebody getting chopped up and all that. I like the supernatural aspect of it, but I don't really care for the blood and gore. I really like the fantasy of it, I guess. You know, vampires and werewolves and witches and ghouls. Oh my, all that. Um and how okay, books. Uh I love anything again that has supernatural stuff in it. I hear you. Get darn. Where'd you go? Oh, I hear him flying around. Do you hear that? Anyway, books. So anything spooky that is supernatural. Um, I'm gonna like it. I used to read a lot of smut back in the day because I had liked the paranormal romance too. So, yeah, I probably still like that, to be honest. How do you typically spend your Halloween night? Again, typically over the years before grandbabies, I was in a band. So Halloween was a really, really epic night for us, you know. And usually the whole band would dress up. So I'll share some of that stuff here. Sometimes like, I was in a band one time where our whole playlist was around, the spooky stuff. Or no, it was a spooky set. We had a spooky set that night because there's a lot of spooky songs to learn. So, but, Witchy Woman, um, spooky, yeah, I can't even think of all the songs right now. Brain fart, but there were a lot of spooky songs that we learned for that kind of stuff. But that was fun. That was really epic. And then just going to parties, dressing up was fun. Like I said, Bob really loves to dress up too. And even before him, it was that kind of stuff, because I've been doing the music scene since I was 15. So, and I didn't stop that till I started having grandbabies. So I'm going to be 56 this year. So there was a good 40 years of playing in bands. Now it's going to be all about the kids. I think Bob might still like to do stuff. We had his 50th birthday party was a big Halloween party. So I couldn't find any pictures of that, but I mean, I'm going to share all that with you. So what does Halloween mean to you? Well, really, before I understood what it was a night of, possibly, like as a kid, there still had this really magical aspect to it. It was like, I didn't know, but I knew that it had everything to do with the veil thinning. I didn't really understand it, till I got older, but that was the eeriness of it that just really drew me in, was that as the possibility of seeing something like that, or having some type of communication with the other side was like the biggest thing that drew me to loving Halloween so much. My mom made it fun and we dressed up, but getting the candy was fun. And I can tell you that getting candy was, of course that was like a benefit, but always the supernatural aspect of Halloween. And to this day, it's still, because that fascinates me every day. You know what I mean? So like every day is Halloween when it comes to how I feel about it. It's very much because you know, I know that I'm surrounded by everything that I don't see, but I feel and I know it's there. And sometimes I do see it. It just depends on what, you know, um, what eyes I see with. And the witching hour, that's real. That's real. At least it is for me. Especially in this house. Always has been too, is it's like I've always had stories to tell. Things that I actually experienced too, you know. So now to tag my spooky friends, I think that everybody has been tagged. Um Obviously I want my sister to do this tag because we experienced a lot of stuff together. And I remember when we were in high school, we played with Ouija boards. We did all that stuff. So we have our own stories there, and we would freak our friends out, but we really enjoyed it. So, I'm sure they look back at, or they look at us now and think, yeah, we always knew that you girls were going to fall into that path, you know? One of those things? Yeah, yeah, because we were told quite a few times that we were witches even before we, identified that way. So I don't, Jonesville, Michigan, that there's some haunted land there. And boy, there's some stories I could tell you there. So could my sister. So, yeah. Anyway, thank you so much. This is going to be edited and there will be some stuff. Hopefully you have watched it by the time you're at the end here, of pictures and stuff that, of, past Halloweens, and yeah. And I am really enjoying watching all of yours. All the links will be in the description for, Happy Haunts Library, so that you can go and watch the original video, and make sure you subscribe, say hi, all that, comment on the video, let her know that you were there. I'm really appreciative. I love these kind of tags. So I will leave it at that. And yeah, tag yourself. I want to see it. I want to see it. I love it. So I hope everybody has a wonderful day, evening, wherever you are. Now I am stinking excited for Halloween, and thank you. Thank you so much for being here.
Is there a little kid here?
How old are you?
There's a kid?
Who is that cat toy?
It's over there on the piano.
Yeah. Can you play the piano?
A little bit?
Play the piano. Or the organ.
I just heard it on there. Did you hear the piano?
Yeah.
I heard the piano. That was awesome. Good job.
How many people are in here? 10?
There's 10?
Wow.
Is that including us? No?
No.
Okay, cool.
There's 10.
Is it a Saturday service?
Oh my goodness, that's right.
Well, I guess it's technically Sunday, isn't it?
Yeah, it is technically.
Is it
Yeah.
past midnight?
I think so.
Oh, okay. Well, then it's a Sunday service. Do you like church?
That's creepy.
Little kid? Or am I hearing? If there's a little kid who wants to play with me, I have a ball. I can toss it somewhere, and if you want to move it, where should I? I'm gonna put it over here. If you see the ball, grab the ball. Yeah.
Did you see that? That was.
I just rolled it over there, Mom.
Oh, okay. I'm like, oh my
If you want
gosh.
to come over